chosen ones, empaths, when you're confronted with a narcissist who plays the victim, it does strike you and you think, damn, they can actually play this victim role well, because they've got the whole world believing that they're the victim and you're the perpetrator and you're abusive and you're this. But in actuality, when you understand that this was so premeditated from the narcissist, every single minuscule little thing was finely tuned in order to play out this role of being a supreme victim. And it's like they're getting wrapped up in cotton wool, like they're getting help from their flying monkeys, they're getting help from, they might even get help from police, they might get help from authorities, some sort of authoritative figures, counseling. You know, they'll be playing this role so well, you know, and they literally plan this, you know. This is a real manipulative, horrible type of abuse to put someone through, because the real victim is left desolate. The real victim is left on their own, you know. No one believes them. Sometimes even their own families don't believe them. And this is all down to the theatrics of the narcissist. And they're acting and playing this role. You're the only one that sees through it when you're in this position. You're very fortunate if you have someone with you who can also see through the lies and the deception, you know? Because oftentimes, empaths and chosen ones, victims of abuse, are left on their own, fighting their corner on their own, with no one in their defense. And the narcissist is getting two forms of supply in this scenario. They're getting one form of supply from they're acting like a victim and everyone mollycoddling them and looking after them and stuff like that. But they're also getting, you know, a combined supply source of knowing that it's putting you through suffering, knowing that you're the true victim and you're being left alone. And they know they've got you in a fragile position, you know. I've read in the comment section people that have dealt with many fake allegations, and you know, some of you have been sent to prison, and it's quite common, you know, if you go to a prison or you go to a psych ward or a mental hospital, there will be empaths and victims of abuse in there that probably acted out on a reactive abuse whim. You know, they just acted on a whim one day after the reactive abuse, and they done something they're probably not happy they done. You know, I'm not justifying their behavior. They might have done something bad to the narcissist, but it was only because they were led down this pathway of abuse, and then one day they just reacted, you know. But it's not even like, sometimes it's not even like it's been through reactive abuse why the narcissist is acting like a victim. Sometimes it's just completely made up, completely fabricated, completely all a story of the narcissist, pretending they're hurt, pretending that, you know, they've been abused, and they're so sick and slimy. These dusty weirdos, they're so slick and slimy. They love playing the victim. It really gets them off, you know, playing the victim. They love it. And this is why science and psychology say well, this is where the childhood scenario comes into it, and I don't necessarily believe that the childhood was what determined to make the narcissist a narcissist. I'm not really a firm believer in that. I understand his principles and stuff, but they say because they wasn't validated as a child, it's a good theory, right? Because they wasn't validated as a child from their parents, only when they were in a bad way or hurt or something like this, they got the attention they deserved, right? Or they wanted. They got the attention they wanted. And this is what leads them up into adult life, acting out in this way. But the reason why I'm not a believer in this theory is because there's so many abuse victims, which you've probably heard me say before, but there's so many abuse victims that grow up in horrible situations as a child, and they don't grow up to be a narcissist or a psychopath or a sociopath. So that kind of defeats the theory when you've got people like this in the world who have been through much more horrific situations, and they're not out here claiming they're victims and stuff like that. They're actually like campaigners against abuse, and they grow up to be like prominent figures in society against abuse that happens to children and stuff like that. So when you have these sort of people, and even people that aren't prominent figures, but they've grown up, they've made their way, you know, they haven't let it define them. The abuse hasn't defined them. You know, it's totally opposite to what the narcissist does. So maybe there is some impact from childhood. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But I'm not really a firm believer in it. You know, I feel like these lot are predestined to be this way. I believe that it's been set up from before Earth began. Maybe they were followers of Satan. Maybe they were, maybe they wasn't. I don't exactly know the truth behind it, but all I know is these are a different species. And when you've got a narcissist playing a victim, you're like, whoa. When you're the only one that can see through the fakery and the manipulation, and you've got everyone looking at you as if you are the perpetrator, as if you are the one that done wrong, and you've got this stupid narcissist playing this victim role, and they've got everyone around them like helping them and caring for them and stuff like this, it makes you sick to your stomach, because that's exactly what I've been through. And when you think about it, they always played the victim. They probably played the victim about another scenario, and you was the one. This is what I'm saying. This is what they did to us. They had us attending to their needs of their victim when they claimed they were a victim of something when they was together with us. That's another thing what they do, right? You know, we was once the flying monkey, or, you know, even if he was romantically involved, we was once someone who was pulled into the fakery and the false narrative of what the narcissist was doing. We was actually pulled into that, and we was once tending to their needs and helping them when they were actually making up the lie about being a victim for whatever reason. It could be, oh, this happened at work and the boss done this to them, or someone done this to them, and we're like, oh, they're there, and we're helping them through their problems and their issues. And there was no problems or issues to begin with. They were literally just doing this for supply. But the difference is now we're the one who's being painted with a brush, that we're the perpetrator. We're the one that can actually see. And it's always the one who's the perpetrator is the only one that can see the reality of the true nature behind the narcissist. It's only the one who's to blame, you know, that actually sees through this fakery. So they do play it well. They play this role well. They've been well trained. They've done it numerous times throughout their life. And they'll keep doing it, you know. You're not the last one. You're not the last perpetrator that's gonna try and do something to them. There'll be plenty more people that, and one reason why I'll say before I go is they do this when they don't get their own way a lot. That's what I feel. Because they're not getting their own way, they use the emotional manipulation as a deciding factor to get things to go their way, you know. And when all is said and done, you know, if they've done this to you, they've played the victim, they've called police, or they've got you in trouble, or they've done whatever. When all said and done, these narcissists end up regretting the fact they've done this to us, because they lost the chosen one, they lost an empath. So, you know, it's a losing situation for them. But through the journey, when you're actually being painted as the perpetrator, you're being painted as the bad person, it's a very painful experience. It's really hard to get through, and you've got everyone believing everything but you. So, you know, the only thing that I can say to try and do is try and expose them the best you can. Exposure to the narcissist they don't like. If you can try and expose them, and to be honest with you, if it hasn't gone to courts or it hasn't got police involved, and this is just talking about like friends and family that are believing them, like the real true people who want to get to know you will come and try and find out the truth from you. But the fake people, they're just going to believe the narcissist narrative and carry on with life. You know, they're not even going to come to question you. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to this channel, you can find the link in the description box. And if you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. Currently, I've got a secondary channel, the spiritual channel. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.